Hey everybody, Tim here with today's review of Doctor Who, story number 33, The Moonbase. I really wanted to like this episode. In fact, the first two stories of it are really well done. And then once we get into like the climax of it, and the episodes 3 and 4 are not so good. No. Anyways, so the story is 4 episodes long, 2 of which are missing. Oh, I've already forgotten which ones. I think it's 1 and 3 are missing. So 2 and 4 are intact. And it's kind of great because it's interesting to watch. From the very beginning, the crew land on the moon, and the Doctor gets a little pissy because everybody's like, yay, we finally got to Mars. And they're like, wait, no, this isn't Mars, this is the moon. You messed up again. And the Doctor gets really mad. So they end up finding a moon base, and Jamie gets sick because they're just jumping around having fun. And they find a moon base, and the guy tells them, oh, it's the year 2070. And it's like, okay. And then as they're kind of doing their thing, like briefly a Cyberman walks by, like really quick. And you're like, was that a Cyberman? Like, why are they here? And that's kind of how the first episode ends. And so it's like really like on the edge of your seat. What's going on? What's going to happen? And then going into the second one, it turns out that this moon base has a graviton, which the Doctor's like, that's what threw me off. That's why we didn't get to Mars. Not my fault. And basically it kind of controls the weather on Earth. And so like there's this giant hurricane going on, and people on this moon base are getting sick. They're getting these black lines all over their face and on their hands. And so the Doctor has been put in charge of finding out what's going on. And like at one point he actually like takes a guy's shoe off, and it's really kind of awkward, and I didn't get it. And we see a Cyberman come out and take a guy and leave. And this whole time Jamie's in there really sick. And he looks at Jamie, but because Jamie's not infected with the same disease, he leaves him alone. And so he just keeps taking other people. So the Doctor's trying to figure out what's going on with these people, and at one point Polly brings coffee to people, and one guy drinks it and then instantly gets sick, and the Doctor's like, it's in the sugar! And it's like, oh yeah, why not? That makes sense. And so the Doctor, of course, looks at it, and it ends up being like this Cyberman disease. And from here, like, the Doctor's like, you looked everywhere, all across the base to find the Cybermen. And the guy's like, yeah, I did. And he's like, did you look in this room? And he's like, well, no, there's people in here. And so they go around looking the room. And of course, the Cyberman is hiding as one of the patients with a blanket over his head. Like, this is that moment where I was like, nope, I'm done with this episode. I can't do it. It's bad. And like the episodes 3 and 4, like I try to get through it. The Cybermen recognize the Doctor, which I don't quite understand because they didn't see him like change. So I didn't quite get that. I didn't really like it. They end up making a Cyberman army, and then there's kind of a fun scene where it's one of the live action scenes where they have like this missile. It's like a bazooka. And they try to fire at the moon base, but because of the gravitron, it like deflects the laser. And they're like, do it again! And so they fire again, and it gets deflected again. And they just kind of look at it, and they look at the moon base, and they're like, what's going on? And it's kind of, it's more funny than anything. Like, this episode probably was meant to be very serious, but I couldn't take it seriously. Between the Cybermen hiding under the blanket, the sugar being like the big like twist that's what's affecting people, to the bazooka, I couldn't handle it. Like, it was so cheesy and bad, but I don't know, it is what it is. So for those who have seen this one, what did you guys think about it? Go ahead, let me know. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for the Makara Terror.